So I would like get rid of that. It just leaks, blends into the skin like butter. Look how gorgeous that is. Today I'm testing a full face of brand new makeup products, and some of them are just new to me. We've got the Maybelline Grippy Serum, we've got the Fyne Beauty Satin Skin Tint, the Valentino Puffer Gloss, which sounds like a designer bag for your lips, and a bunch more new products. So if you've had your eyes on any of these latest launches, I'm testing them out today so you don't have to waste your money. Let's get into it. So one of the first products I'm going to be putting on today is this Maybelline Grippy Serum. This has 2% niacinamide and it claims to last 24 hours. Not that anyone would wear their makeup for that long. We'll give it a go and see how long it does last. So I am an oily combination skin type, so I'm just going to put this through the T section because that's where I tend to get oily. If you suffer with oil breakouts across your cheeks, feel free to put it wherever you need some additional support. So it does have that kind of like tacky feel, which is a good sign when you're looking for something that's going to grip your makeup for the day. This isn't necessarily a feeling I particularly like on my skin, but I know that it does help with keeping your makeup in place. So I've had my skincare on for a couple of hours now, so I'm just going to revive my face with the M Cosmetics Divine Water. This is like a rose water style product. This is great at just hydrating your skin. You wouldn't use it as a setting spray necessarily, but it's a great way to revive your base before you go in with the rest of your makeup. It's a similar product to like MAC Fix Plus. It doesn't fix your makeup, but it will help revive your skin ready for makeup. And you can also use it on top of makeup. Say for instance you did your base makeup and then you go and do your eye makeup and then you want to tackle your base again before you set it, you can revive it with a product like this. I don't know when this launched, but this is new to me. I ordered this when I was ordering some products from America. It smells lovely, it feels very luxurious, it has a really nice delicate scent to it. So yeah, I like that. So this is the new Fyne Beauty Satin Skin Tinted Touch. So as you can see, it's a compact that has a cushion type foundation. You press that and then the product comes through. I'll be honest, I've never been keen on these types of products, especially these applicators. So press it in till you get it on your puff. So this is supposed to give you, I don't even know if this is going to be a good shade. It's not too bad. A medium coverage that's buildable, and it's supposed to be blurring but very glowy. I don't know how I'm going to feel about the glow. Hopefully, because it's satin, it won't be as glowy as they've said on the website. So yeah, let's see how we get on. I actually really like the finish already. Again, don't love these applicators, but I really want to see how it comes out. It is a breathable formula, which I would agree because it feels super light. So I'm going to take that over the eyes as well to neutralise this area, because I don't think today I'm going to be doing an eyeshadow look, because most of everything I'm going to be trying is kind of base makeup. So this is a little bit awkward around the eyes, but that's fine. We can make it work. So there's 20 shades available on the website. And as you can see, it's gone over my pigmentation, and that's just one layer. So it is quite light, but I would say like a realistic medium coverage. Now I know I'm not gonna like this applicator with my pores, because you can just see going over the nose, you can't even get in around your nose. For around the nose, I'm just gonna switch to a brush and stipple, and then we can get in, because that applicator is just too flat to apply around these areas and the inner corner of the eye. The shade I'm using is 05. Shade 5 is a light with a golden undertone. They sent me 4 colours, and actually I would say none of them are the perfect match, because I do have a bit more warmth in my body. So I could do with a tiny bit more of a red undertone to this foundation, but I can show you how to adjust that. This applicator is no good, so I would like get rid of that. I'm going to switch to one of my IT Cosmetics No. 7 brushes, and I'm going to use that to stipple in instead. It feels so like I'm not wearing anything, like so light. But it does give you a little bit of coverage. It's definitely going to be something that I think you could build upon. I'm going to just see how it kind of builds on this area here, because obviously I've got my pigmentation there, so it's a good way to see how much it covers. Not bad. I would probably still need to go in with some concealer, but yeah, I definitely would say it's buildable. I'm going to take a little bit of this pigment just to make this a little bit warmer, because I wanted to go in with a second layer, but I think I need a little bit of warmth underneath. So I've dipped my brush back into the foundation, and I'm going to mix this This will add a little bit more of a pinky undertone underneath, so it'll match my chest a bit better. Otherwise it's a bit too yellow. It literally just warms it up the tiniest amount. I used a mix of these pigments by Temp 2. I mixed the blue and the red together with a tiny bit of the yellow and then a smidge of white just to bring it up a shade. And then that will cancel out a little bit of the yellow but also add some warmth underneath. Okay, so next up I'm going to try the Cali Ray Hideaway Brightening Concealer. This one is supposed to be really good if you have fine lines and wrinkles. The only thing I don't like, I don't know if you can see, but it just leaks all around here. I'm going to just show you. It really does pile up around the lid, and it doesn't matter if you clean it up here because it's all inside the lid, which is a bit of a pain. I took a guess on the website on what shade I would need. This is for kind of like light to medium. It's the shade Sunlight. So I'm going to just pop this mainly on the inner corner, a little bit underneath here, and then on this outer edge just like that. And again, I'm just going to use the same brush just to press that in. I've tried it twice now just to see what it was like, and again I ordered this from America. I used Stackry to order that. I paid for everything myself, but it is worth sharing because if you're in the UK you can order products from America and they will send it all over, because a lot of brands don't ship to the UK and you have it shipped to a locker. If you're interested I will put the details below, but it is not a sponsorship. It's something that I pay for. So I wanted to try this, so I had it sent to the locker. But again, it's because I'm starting to see those fine lines and wrinkles around my eyes. I don't like to use a ordinary concealer because it just enhances them, and this has been really, really nice. It is a little bit brighter than I'd ordinarily go for. I tend to be a bit more inconspicuous, but I can't deny that the brightening effect definitely makes you feel more awake. I like that the brand itself are big on recycling. It's made out of glass. Glass is infinitely recyclable. I think the lid, they said, is recyclable as well. It comes in a cardboard box, recyclable, and it also has skin loving ingredients in it. It's very, very lightweight. This is more of a brightener, so if you want coverage you'll need to get more of a concealer. This is more of a sort of corrector, like a brightener. Now I believe these launched in April. I did share a little short on all the 5 colours that they sent me. These are the new Morphe cream bronzer sticks. I really love the packaging. It feels very luxurious. These are some of the colours that I received. You can see more of the colours over on my reel, but here I have Smolder. I kept that because it's the darkest shade, but also works when you used very, very lightly on sort of light to medium skin tones. You can use it as a cool contour shade. Then we have Ignite, and then Flicker. Flicker is the lightest shade. I quite like this one when it's a no makeup look. Ignite I think is the next shade up. We might end up using that one today. So this is the shade Ignite. I'm going to use this before we set our base makeup, and I'm going to go in all the usual areas that you would bronze. I'm going to use it to kind of like sculpt at the same time as bronzing. So we're going to go into the hollows of the cheeks, around the hairline, down the sides of the nose. I always put a little bit just either side of my chin. You can also go under the jaw if you like. You can also pop it in to the temple area as well. I'm going to take a little bit more of my Divine Water Perfecting Mist. Oh, it smells so nice. It smells like clean linen. That's just going to help the blend in. You can also spritz your brush if you like, but just press and stipple in the area that you applied it. That way you're not going to kind of become a muddy mess by blending it out too far. Just keep stippling and you'll find that it just blends into the skin like butter. I really like the colour range of this new bronzer. Bear in mind, if you swipe, you could disturb your base makeup depending on what you've got underneath. What I love about this brush is you've got the opposite side. You can just use the small side to do your more intricate blending like the sides of the nose. If you're more mature, this area tends to sink a little bit, so you might not want to place your contour shade here because it sinks naturally, and instead you kind of want your face to look as full as possible because it gives you that youthful look. You can also pop a lighter shade of concealer there. When your face is slightly more plump, if you sink this area and this area, it makes this part of your cheekbone look more prominent. Can you see how lovely these are to blend? They're so easy to use. I think these are like £16 in the UK. I think if you go on Morphe's actual website, I think they might be 15, but I don't know what the shipping is. I think in the UK they're only available on Selfridges, but I will link them below for you globally. So no matter where you are, you should be able to shop directly from below the video. So we're definitely looking quite shiny. And that's probably a mix of using creams, but also the satin base. It did say glowy, quite blurry, but we want to set this in place. So this is the YSL All Hours Hyper Blur Translucent Powder. I really love the packaging. It feels really nice. This is kind of like spongy, but it feels very luxurious. This is obviously high street and this is high end, and together they were beautiful and they lasted all day. This comes with a tiny little powder puff, which is super cute. I always keep these. I keep them in like my bags when I go out. Really work it into the puff, so you almost can't see it. And then you can press and roll, and you won't end up looking super powdery. You can roll your sponge up to make it more appropriate for tiny areas. So just make sure you've got no creasing on your eyes. I can get right in there. And it's quite brightening. I really like this. I would say this is more finely milled than, say, like the Huda Beauty Easy Bake. I find like that's quite a chalky kind of vibe. Great if you're super oily, but I do feel like it has more of a chalk finish. This is more like a mist. It's really like, you can see it's so lightweight. So just go through and set the areas that you need to. Not everybody's going to need to sit everywhere, depending on your skin type. And this is quite nice underneath the eyes. It's not thick enough to create that cakey finish. So I am a huge fan. And I think that this powder might come in 4 shades. I think it's translucent, there's a light, a medium and a deep. So let's look at the difference. You can see I've got that shine going on, and then this side, even though it's mattified, it's still got a really nice sort of sheen to the skin. I've just done a simple smoky liner. I used the Wet n Wild Mega Liner in dark brown and the Nude Sticks Magnetic Eye Colour in the shade Cocoa, just to smudge that along. And then in my waterline I've got MAC Coffee Pencil, which is similar to Costa Riche in the US. I've not put any mascara on. I've given my lashes a curl, and I'm going to go in with these eyelashes by Dark Swan of Denmark. These are the Secret 06 Bloom lashes in the short mix. If you missed last week's tutorial, I will put it on screen for you now. If you really want to see like a really up close application of these lashes, go check them out. You can use my discount code. I'm going to take 12mm on the outer corner and then most of the way across, because I like the 12. In the short mix I thought it would be a little bit too short. When you think about your eyelashes, if you're popping an eyelash on top, it will sit slightly higher. If you're coming from the bottom of the eyelash, it's going to sit like this. So 12mm on top is going to be longer than 12mm if you're putting it underneath, because it's got slightly further to travel because it's sitting further underneath your natural lashes. So just pop these underneath your natural lashes, and you don't even need mascara. They're so quick to put on as well. When you think about how long it can take you to get a strip lash on, sometimes you need to take it off again, reapply some glue, wait for it to go tacky. Sometimes the corners ping up. With these, it's so simple. You just pop them on. You don't even have to wait for the glue to go tacky. It is a little bit helpful if you do, but it isn't necessary. Super quick and simple. And now I'm going to put some mascara on my lower eyelashes. So that is my eyes done. I absolutely love these eyelashes, they're so pretty. So again, I will link them below if you want to try them. As you know, I'm a huge fan of the Daniel Sandler watercolour blush. Last week he launched a new collection. This is called the Riviera collection. It is absolutely stunning. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen on my stories I did some swatches of these. We have a beautiful pinky blush. We've got a couple of highlighters, and then this one is like a bronze glow. So I'm going to use this today. It is quite pinky. I've not actually popped it onto my cheeks. This is going to be a first try. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know if it's going to suit me. It has been designed for everybody, so it should look nice. I always like to work off the back of my hand. These are silicone based. They work beautifully on the skin. Great for bridal. I'm just going to stipple my BK Beauty 106 foundation brush onto the back of my hand. Can you see that beautiful sheen? Look at that. It is stunning. I'm going to start on the back half of the cheek and work it forward. If you really work it into the bristles, then you can just apply a very light layer. You can see it does pack a punch in colour, so you really only need a very light amount. But this could be like your blush and highlighter in one. It's gorgeous. A little bit on the bridge of the nose just to sort of tie the colour together. It's absolutely stunning. Look how gorgeous that is. If you want to tone it down at all, take a little bit of foundation really buffed into the bristles, so there's like almost nothing coming off of it, but there's just something there to kind of lightly buff over the front of your blush, and then you can tone it down slightly as it comes forward. See how it just looks a bit more seamless? I have a new lip gloss to try, but I'm just going to line my lips a little bit with this Iconic Nude lip liner by Charlotte Tilbury. I know this isn't a new product, but I don't have a new lip liner to show you. On the centre of my lips I'm using a bit of Tay Tay by Nude Sticks. Because the gloss is really sheer, I feel like I just need something underneath. The gloss I'm going to use is the new Valentino Puffer Gloss, which I think is going to work quite nicely with what we've got on the cheeks. This is the Puffer Gloss in 300R. As you can see, it's almost like a pink sheen. Very beautiful. Pop a bit of this on. It works really nice with what we've got on the cheeks. They smell lovely. When it says Puffer Gloss, does that mean it's got like a plumping effect? I feel like I'm getting a sort of smell of like a mintiness. I didn't know if I wanted to use a watercolour blush highlighter or the new All Hours Hyperluminize, which I did feature in a short, but this is a different shade. This is O2 Hypnotic Honey. Swatch it for you. I love how creamy these are. This is the YSL one, which is barely visible, but it is there. Then you've got the one by Daniel Sandler here, and this one also from the Riviera collection. They kick ass, don't they? This one's got like a pink undertone, and this one's slightly more golden, and they are gorgeous. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use my BK Beauty and Nicola Rose N14 brush, and I've popped a little bit of this into the palm of my hand. So really just work it in. Look at that sheen. Gosh, it's gorgeous. And then just gently pat it on the cheekbone. Hopefully it's picking up, but it's super incredible. What was that? I've gone with the one with a slightly sort of pinky undertone just because we've got the pink on the cheek, but they all work beautifully together. That's how Daniel curated them, so that they all work cohesively. Imagine this on a vacation when you've got a beautiful tan and you're going out for the evening for a meal. It would just be absolutely beautiful. So for my final thoughts, I think the standout products to me are the Riviera collection by Daniel Sandler. These are phenomenal. I think they're limited edition as well, so I will link them below if you want to try them. I also really enjoyed using the creamy bronzer sticks by Morphe. I love how buttery they are. They really melt onto the skin, but they don't blend away to nothing like some products do that are super creamy. The shade range is really nice as well. I also really like the Cali Ray Hideaway Brightener. If you haven't tried it, give it a go, especially if you're concerned with fine lines and wrinkles and you need something to brighten under your eyes. I really like this. I also really enjoyed using the YSL All Hours Hyper Blur Translucent Powder. The finely milled texture of this is fantastic. It's like nothing on the skin, and there's not many on the market that I say that are absolutely, completely and utterly undetectable. This is, and it's so nice. This is nice, but it isn't anything stand out, and there is a sort of buzzing about my lips. I don't care for that feeling very much, to be honest with you, but I still really love the colour. I also really like this. It smells so blooming lovely. It doesn't smell like when you buy a product that's heavily fragranced, so I would highly recommend this, especially if you're somebody that likes to take their time with their makeup and they need a refresh in between because something's drying down, but you still want to blend other products into it. This is going to be the way to do that. Then we have the Satin Skin Tinted Touch Foundation, another product that I didn't mind. I probably wouldn't reach for it again, only because I don't like the applicator. I've never been a fan of these types of foundations where they're cushion based. You can't see how much product you've got left. It's just not my favourite. I really like their actual liquid foundation, but I think this one for me is probably not my favourite. It does look very pretty on the skin, just would probably prefer that formula in a different application. If you've tried any of these new launches or products that are new to me, let me know in the comments which one was your favourite. And if you've tried any that were a bit of a flop for you, that didn't wear that well, also let me know, because I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and it will also help others that are watching the video. And if you want more full face first impressions like this video, give the tutorial a thumbs up. It shows me that you guys enjoyed this kind of content. I'll pin a comment below to let you guys know how this wore in case you're curious about the longevity of these products, so go check that out. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to my channel, I upload content like this every Sunday and then some shorts in between. I also have a post tab, which used to be the community tab on my channel. There I host educational quiz questions. You guys can vote in the polls as to which answer you think is correct, and I'll also add an explanation underneath the correct answer. That's really fun, so go check that out. As always, thank you so much for watching. My name is Shonagh. I'm a professional makeup artist. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!